everyone, we are back with Glenn Velvet Reviews today, and we got another product review going on. We decided to pick out the Dolly Parton Caramel Sheet Cake Mix. Now this, I think they only have during the holidays. They had this, and they had pumpkin cookies that we are gonna, hopefully try maybe next week or whatever. But we are definitely going to, we're definitely going to try these out right now, which should be really cool. We did a bunch of other different recipes. They had like the muffins and the cinnamon cake and stuff like that. It was really good. So we're hoping this is kind of going to be the same. So we're going to do the same thing, cook it in the Whirlpool confection behind me that we got, that we always cook it in. This is what it looks like, the box. We got this from Walmart. They probably have it at a bunch of, other locations as well that you can, check out. And that's what the box looks like if you want to pause that. So hopefully the instructions are really simple. The cookies would have been a lot easier. But this is going to be a little bit more complicated. That's why I wanted to get it to, do it with you guys and see how complicated it is and also see how good and tasty it's going to be. So let's get to the going. Let's get this cooked. All right, so you are going to need a 9 by 13 inch pan. We've used this a couple of times. I like using the Pyrex one because it comes with a cap, the lid, so you can easily seal it up, easily, and then have leftovers and stuff so it doesn't get hard and all like crappy. So anyway, it says prep to 350 degrees, spray the bottom of this. Then we're going to mix. I'm going to start mixing mine together. Whisk the cake mix, the milk, the eggs, and the 10 tablespoons of butter. That's a lot of melted butter in a large bowl. So we're going to do the large bowl over here until blended. And then we're going to pour right into the pan and spread it evenly. So it looks pretty simple from at least what I'm seeing. Guys, 10 tablespoons of butter. Look at that. Holy crow. That is going to kill you. All right. So we're going to whisk it all together. Hopefully this is big enough to whisk it. I have a bigger bowl, but I'm hoping that should be enough. All right. So we're going to put all the ingredients together in here. So it says to whisk the cake mix, the 3/4 of a cup of milk, and now also the butter, 10 tablespoons of butter. And that better tastes good with all that butter. Holy moly. Also gotta preheat the oven. Sure we use that rack. Hit convection, hit over. Manual convection. We got what? We're gonna bake at 350 degrees. So let's preheat this for 350. Okay, gotta make sure you gotta use that rack, and we're not gonna use the spin. So let's turn off turntable. So that's turned off because this is gonna be too big to spin in there. So let's whisk this all together. Oh, it mixes really quickly, see? So they do say a minute. Look how quick that mixed. Now we got to spray this with the pan over the sink. And then we pour it in there nice and evenly. All right, everyone. So that's what mine looks like. It is very difficult to make it level, okay? It's sticky. It starts to get thick quick. When you first mix it up, it's more liquidy, but now it's like thick. So this is what the best I can do, because you're going to have the same thing as me. I doubt you're going to be that much of a professional. So let's get this in there for the 24, it says 20 to 24 minutes, so we're going to do it for 20 minutes. And then it says until the toothpick is in there and it comes out clean, you're good to go. So let's get this in there as quick as possible. Now, I'm going to turn, since mine can't spin and if yours can't either, make sure you take it out halfway through. Stick it in there, take it out halfway through, spin it, and put it back in there so it cooks on both sides, because the air vent is on this side. All right. Well, the air that it blows is over here, the hot air. Okay, so now we're going to have to whisk together the glaze. It says whisk the caramel sauce, what we have right here. So let's see if we can easily rip this. If no, we have to cut it. Okay, that's probably why they tell you to use warm butter to make it thinner. Now it says for thicker, glossier glaze, we whisk in 3 tablespoons of confectionery sugar. So we're going to do that as well. that feels pretty hot, so that should be hot enough. It just says to make it really warm. So we're going to pour it in here, and then whisk it up in here. And then I'm thinking about putting some water in here, just hot water, putting that over it just to keep this warm, so it'll flow, you know, nice on the cake when we put it on, because they tell you to make this, everyone, after this is cooked, so this will be nice and warm when you're pulling it over. So in order to keep it warm, I'm just going to put some water in here, hot water, and then put this over this like this, and then it'll keep it nice and warm, okay? All right, so it says just whisk this all together in here. All right, guys, so that's the consistency that I'm getting. It's very thick. I'm hoping when I heat this up in the pan underneath, it's going to be, you know, just like when you make it on top of the stove and stuff. So let's hope that this is going to thin out, just so it'll pour nicely over the cake, okay? All right, everyone. So I forgot to spin it around a little bit quicker than that, like a butt head. So let's get this spun around. That's what it looks like after 15 minutes. Wow, it came up pretty high, right? Okay, there we go. All right, everyone. So we're at the 20 mark. Let's just check. It's supposed to come out clean. Oh, wow, that's it. Clean everywhere, and that was only, maybe I'm gonna put it in for 1 minute extra over here. Just like 2 minutes. So this is flowing nice and thin, that I put this on top of this really hot water. So the water under here is like 150 degrees, and it's keeping this nice and, you know, nice and liquid. It's keeping it, so this way when we pour it over, it'll be easy, because I don't want to fight with it and pour it over, and then we got to butter it and ruin the cake, you know what I mean, and smear it on. I don't feel like spreading it on there. But for the other thing, like I said, for the cake, the left of it wasn't cooked, it seemed like, because we should have spun it around 10 minutes in. Instead, you saw we spun it around 15 minutes in. So we're gonna let that go for just 2 more minutes and then take it out. All right, so there we go. That's about it. That's what the finished product is. Like I said, that's 22 minutes after. Everything should come out clean. As you can see, it's dark on this side, and if we tried to make this side a little bit darker, this would have got really dark and not taste good. So it's probably going to taste the best in the middle, but as you see, I couldn't really even it out like perfectly with the spoon or anything that I had because of the consistency of this. But I mean, let's see how it comes out. You got to let this completely cool. Is what it's saying first, and then you can cut it out and then be able to put this stuff on. So I'm going to leave this stuff for like 5 minutes on here, just on the hot water, like I said, just to keep that nice and whatever, and then we will let this cool for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Let me see what the temperature goes, because the temperature is probably blazing hot. Yeah, 180. Yeah, we got to let that go down to at least 150 before we can mess around with that. Okay, so we'll be right back with Glen Velvet Reviews. All right, everyone. So this is what it kind of looks like. I can't imagine if this wasn't hot. This, I'll tell you the temperature that I have it at, so at least you know what's going on. But I have it at 115 degrees. I can't imagine if this stuff was at like room temperature, how hard it would be to get out. So anyway, mine's at that, so that's why it's so easy just to take a little bit and just be able to just lay it, see, kind of on it, and melts right on. Now my cake is probably at like 100 degrees as well. I didn't wait till it was like fully cooled off, but that's kind of what we're gonna leave it at, okay, with the rest of it, because I don't want to like use all of it. I'm not sure, I didn't really divvy this up. Let me show you, you know, what I did. I made little cuts. So there you go. So I made little cuts here and there, and I want to make sure that I have enough. I mean, look, we only took out 2, and I don't want to use the whole thing and then not have it. So we're going to try this out. Let's see our opinionated review on it. All right. And we'll see how tasty it is. All right. We'll be right back. All right, everyone. So we're back over here at Glen Velvet Reviews. And let's see what this tastes like. It's like 67 pounds of butter. It was 10 tablespoons plus another 3. That's, Mom, that's like a stick and a half or more. It's almost, it's because 1 is only 8. So 13, yeah. So 8 is 16, almost 2.
Oh,
16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. 16. Wow. Wow, right? Talk about cholesterol. It's pretty good though, right? I thought that was yummy. Wow. The cookies definitely would have been a little bit easier, but this wasn't that hard. You make it, you throw it in there. It's just time consuming because you have to wait for one to dry. Wait for this to get, because you can't take it out, it's too soft. All right, everyone. So that's it for Glen Velvet Reviews on a small review of the Dolly Parton's Caramel Sheet Cake Mix that we decided to try out with everyone. My opinion, it was good. We both liked it. I thought it was awesome. But there's like, look how much left. Like this is good for a lot of people. You don't really need that much. There's so much butter in this. This has 19% of your daily percent of total fat. Cholesterol, 28%. I thought it would have been higher than that. 13% for sodium, 11% for carbs. So they're pretty high numbers. 30% added sugar. So just to let you know, like this is pretty crazy hardcore. But I just want to let you know that this helped so much. So if you are going to make this, if you're going to make this and keep the butter nice and hot, or you're not going to make so many at a time, obviously you're going to put this in a container and just heat it up tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when you're making this for a couple of people and you want it to be hot and easy to flow and all that stuff, is that do what I did, something similar like that. Keep it just at like 100 and something degrees. Mine's 115 when I was putting it on, but it was probably like 125, 130 at the time. And then that made it flow so much easier. I didn't damage the cake and make it look like poop, you know what I mean? Because it kind of stinks when you smash it on. And then I did that before with a couple of the other recipes, and unless this stuff is really soft, you just like make it look like garbage, and that kind of stinks. So this was a good idea, so that's going to help you guys out. You can get 16 pieces and give this to people. That's pretty good. So just to let you know, that's awesome. Another tip, if you're going to bring this to school for the kids or whatever the case, and you think someone's going to want it, this can get you 16 pieces. You just have to divvy this up properly. You're definitely going to want it soft for that. So that's it for Glen Velvet Reviews on the small review and some tips and tricks, or whatever you want to call them, on the Dolly Parton's recipe that we decided to make together. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. I would love to know. Also, subscribe to my channel. Join me on my review adventures as I try to put up stuff to help out the community, just like I get help from the community, right? And if you can, unless you dislike me for any reason, you could support the channel by clicking on those affiliate links below. Somehow, some way times a million equals into something. But from what I saw, there are other ways to support the channel on YouTube. And if you do decide to support the channel, please make sure you come back, see that I'm putting that support back into it, getting more stuff to review, doing updates on the items so we know we're getting good value, and also helping my subscribers with any questions they have on the products I already reviewed. All right, so everybody enjoy, be safe. Glen Velvet Reviews is out, and I'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.